Very close, you guys. Latin and
Well,
carrying on.
yeah.
Was she crazy and know a lot on the
No,
set?
she really wasn't in real life.
Really?
You know, but she worked that way. You know, she murdered the English language. And when she started, you know, she was very new, and she was a novelty. You know, people had never seen anybody like that before.
Big platforms like that.
That's right.
Tiny little girl.
So she was very popular there for a while. But towards the end, Carmen had trouble, you know, because she never changed.
Same thing.
She never changed. She was still singing, you know, and by that time, after a few years of that, there was no novelty anymore.
Right.
So towards the end, you know, she was having a hard time.
Did Betty Grable meet Harry James? Were they married at that time, or did they meet on the set and they fell in love and they got married?
No, they weren't married at that time.
They weren't?
No, indeed.
That's
what started that.
That's what started?
Certainly.
Springtime in the Rockies.
Springtime in the Rockies.
John Payne, loved this guy. Great.
Yeah.
He never studied acting. This guy was just an ordinary good actor. Tell me about John Payne. I really liked him.
Well, John, I remember John when he first started in the business. He and Lee Bowman were roommates. They had an apartment next to mine, you know. And he started, I think, John started, he was under contract to Goldwyn, I think.
Samuel Goldwyn, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
When he started. But he was a very popular leading man, you know.
Loved motorcycles, I know that.
20th Century Fox.
Motorcycles, he loved.
Well...
Yeah, he did. He was one of the Hollywood early motorcycle guys before Marlon Brando and Jimmy Dean and all those guys.
Oh, I don't remember
No,
that.
you don't? Okay, I read something about it. Tales of Manhattan. Come on, CESAR Romero. My favorite film.
Your favorite film?
One of my favorites. It's a great film.
Everybody under the sun was in that picture.
I know it.
It was a story of a suit of tails.
It's wonderful.
But I was in the episode with Ginger Rogers and Henry Fonda.
Working with Henry Fonda.
That's the only time I worked with Henry. I never worked with him.
Never before.
In all the years we were at Fox together.
Is that the first time? You used to see him on the lot a lot.
And I never worked with Ginger either until then.
CESAR Romero, tell me about the commissary. The 20th Century Fox commissary, Annie. It was wonderful. I used to go there when I was a kid. Because I did a movie there years ago for Henry King. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
But I used to go to the commissary. That commissary was the greatest in Hollywood. Tell me about that.
Well, you'd go there for lunch. It was always, you know, you knew where you were going. We had lunch in the little room on the side there.
But the people, the stars,
everybody,
my God.
But everybody under the sun would have lunch there.
Right.
You saw everybody you knew. It was, I mean, you took it.
All day working. Going out at night. You had to go out, and you had to go to Cyril's, McComble's.
Yeah, but when we were working in pictures, we didn't go out at night. Oh, no. No. I'm sorry, I can't go out. I'm working tomorrow.
Oh, I see. How was Cyril's those days, and McComble's?
Well, the greatest supper club we had in this town was the Trocadero.
Trocadero.
That was the place.
Is that where, yes, that was the greatest. Some of the stars performed there? They had to...
Well, you know, on Sundays they had sort of a... not a contest, but young performers who come up there, you know. One of them was Ann Miller.
Was she there? That's how she got discovered?
Oh, well, yes.
Did Ann Miller get discovered in one of those places?
Yeah, she was. I used to see Ann rehearsing in the rehearsal hall at, I forget, who were the producers, big producers for shows in movie houses.
I don't know.
I forget.
It doesn't matter.
And I saw her rehearsing in one of the rehearsal halls there, this young girl, you know, and then the next time I saw her, she was hoofing at the Trocadero. That was a great club, you know. It was the best supper club we ever had in this town.
Tails used to go in tuxedos. People used to dress in tuxedos, not suits. Tuxedos in the evening, wasn't it? That's the way to go. To go to dinner.
And we used to have a lot of affairs here at town. You'd be in white tie and tails. I remember the ball that Carol Lombard was the chairperson for it. And she decreed that all the women would wear white and the men would wear white tie and tails. And it was beautiful. All the women were dressed in white except one. Norma Shearer came in bright red from head to foot. Nobody was going to tell her what to wear.
I like it.
CESAR Romero, What's the biggest lesson you have learned in life? Because you're 80-some years old. God, what has been the biggest lesson for Cesar Romero?
My lesson has been to have tolerance for people and respect for people.
I like that. Tolerance.
Tolerance and respect.
Have you ever? That's nice. Have you ever turned a part down
Oh, yes.
that you have regretted later?
Oh, no.
That you have regretted later?
No.
No?
No. But I took one, I think, suspension years ago, and then I said, this is for the birds, you know, because you're off salary and they attach that time to your contract.
Right, right.
So I said, this is no good. So I never took I did what the studio told me to do, and I played, you know, when they assigned me to a picture, I did it, and I did the best job I could for them, and I had a long
How many films
career
has Cesar Romero has done?
Oh,
over 100?
Over 100, yeah. And then she married Howard.
Tyrone Power, best of friends. He was a flyer. He was a great guy. You guys were close together. You were in the Flyers together.
He was my very close friend. I had one of the best experiences of my life with Tyrone. He was a flyer, you know, in the war, in the Marine Corps.
Right.
And I was in the Coast Guard. I was in an attack transport out in the Pacific. And we both got out of the service at the same time.
Right.
And we reported back to the studio. And they sent us on this goodwill trip. Right. And the studio provided us with a twin-engine Beechcraft, and Ty did all the flying. And we flew down through Mexico. We hit every country in Central America, and we circled all of South America. We went down the western coast, down to Santiago, Chile, through the pass to Buenos Aires, up over the Guianas, the West Indies, Havana, New York, California. We were 10 weeks on this trip. So wonderful experience. You know, we met practically all the presidents of the countries that we visited, because the first person we had to meet was the American ambassador. And the ambassador introduced us to the president either at luncheon or a meeting or cocktails or dinner. And the most interesting ones were when we had lunch with Perón and Evita.
Oh, did you?
In the palace at Buenos Aires. She was a charming woman.
Was she really?
Oh, yes. She didn't speak English. So I interpreted for her, you know, because, and Perón didn't speak English either.
Right.
And she was very amusing. She'd sit there, she'd say to me, she said, why do the people in your country call my husband a dictator? She said, he's not a dictator, he's a patriot. Isn't that right, one? You're a patriot, aren't you? And Perón said, see, yes. She would say things like, you're so fortunate because the people in your country respect and love their artists.
Right.
She said, here in my country, they spit at them. She said, I know because I was an artist.
Funny. Cesar, Tyrone Power, what a classy guy.
Oh, yes.
He was classy, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. And he loved his work. He loved his work. He loved being a star. He loved it.
He did enjoy being a star.
Oh, yes, he loved every minute of it.
He married Linda Christian. Were you at the wedding in Rome when they got married?
No. He married in Rome.
They got married, and I interviewed Linda, and she was telling me about the greatest marriage ever.
Well.
They love him all over the world.
Yes, well.
And he had to die in Spain, his favorite place, where he loved. Isn't that in Madrid? And you know, I was in Madrid at the time when this happened. And
oh, really?
Yeah, and I was terrified. My heart just broke. Do you believe in fate?
I did the eulogy at his funeral.
Did you really?
Yes, and I said, I'll never do this again, ever.
Tore your heart. He was your best friend.
And he'd been dead about a week, you know, and he just looked awful in that casket. And he was married to...
Annabella?
No.
Annabella
was his first wife.
His first wife, yes.
You know.
She was great, though.
He should never have divorced her. Or she divorced him.
She divorced him. I heard this.
Sure.
Tell me about, do you believe in fate, Cesar?
Well, I guess so.
Yeah. You know, you keep going on, Cesar. Let's face it, you go out every night. What is Cesar Romero's secret? What do you eat? I mean, I have to know. What is your secret? Because you look so great.
No.
Your hair, everything, your skin.
There's no secret.
It's the genes.
Just trust your luck. It's your genes. I think has a lot to do with it.
I think the way you think peacefully. What is the day like for you? What time of the day you get up, Caesar Romero?
I get up around 7 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. Do you walk?
No, I don't walk. I can't walk long distances. I have a problem with my back and my hips. You know, I have a few problems that I have to take
What
care
is?
of.
What would you think is the greatest achievement that you have achieved in your life, Caesar?
My greatest achievement was be able to take care of my family.
That's right. You
I
take care
took
of your
care
mother.
of my mother and my father and my sisters and my kid brother, and I put them through college.
That is
And
wonderful.
that was my greatest achievement.
That is
Was
wonderful.
to take care of my family, and I took care of them. I had my mother and my father under my roof to the day they died.
Really, Caesar.
Wow.
You take good care of him. That is a secret. That is the secret of his life. See how wonderful. Caesar Romero, over 100 some films, Hollywood. Oh, come on. I mean, looking back. Any regrets about anything in life?
No.
You have no regrets about
I
anything?
have been so lucky. I wouldn't dare. No, indeed. I've had a lot of great luck in my life.
You still see all your friends in Hollywood. You still meet them at parties. All these wonderful people. Go ahead, Caesar.
Yes. Well, my group of friends have changed a great deal through the years.
Right.
You know, people have changed. I see a great deal of Sybil Brand, as you know, and I see a lot of
She's your
Ann
closest.
Jeffries.
You go out a lot with her.
And Henny Bacchus. They're my
Close.
My close. And Lee Minnelli. Those are the group that I sort of.
Tell me about Lee Minnelli. She's a nice lady. I've always wanted to really talk to her. I've spoken to her several times.
Well,
what a nice lady.
Yeah, she is. She is.
You surround yourself with nice people, Caesar.
Well,
I'm
I
sitting
hope
here.
so.
I'm sitting here saying, God, you mentioned these wonderful names, Sybil Brand, Lee Minnelli. You surround
Well,
yourself
Sybil
with.
Brand is a unique person in this town.
What is?